Hey guys, all right, let's talk about adaptations. So, the word adaptation, if you break it down to its root word, the root word is adapt. So, what does adapt mean actually? When we have to adapt, it typically means that we have to make some sort of change in order to sort of survive, okay? So let me give you an example. I'll give you an example from the animal world. So take like a fox, right? In the summertime, it's often a red color because it helps that because that's how it can um, sort of stay camouflaged in the colors of summer and spring and fall. In the wintertime, the color of its fur will change to be more of a gray, white kind of color so that it can camouflage into the snow, right? So and that's not a wetland animal, but that is an adaptation. So that fox is changing. It's actually changing its body, the color of its body, to help it survive in the wild. Now, we do this all the time, you guys. We have to adapt, even as human beings, all the time. So, let me give you an example. Say you are really interested in learning how to play soccer. Well, in order to be an excellent soccer player, you have to actually adapt. You have to make changes in your physical body and in your brain. So, you have to start practicing drills so that your brain can start to make connections of how do I pass a certain way? Where are people located on the field? You have to adapt by making changes in your body. You have to do more physical fitness training so that you can run faster and kick harder and further. Okay, same thing if you're learning how to play the piano. You're making adaptations. You're adapting your fingers to be more nimble so that you can survive your piano lessons. Okay, so these are all different types of adaptations that happen in our own lives. And I want to hear about how you can make a connection to some adaptations in your life. Something that I had to make huge adaptations for when I was a kid was I had to move from Lethbridge to the Crowsnest Pass. My parents got a divorce. So my mom and my sister and I, we moved to the Crowsnest Pass. And I had to in order to kind of get myself through that, through my parents getting divorced and my mom and having to move to a whole different town and starting a whole like making friends at a different school, there are many adaptations that had to go on. For example, I had to change in terms of courage. I had to become more courageous. I had to become a better communicator because I had to communicate my feelings better. So that's sort of a real life adaptation that really actually I needed to make those changes in order to survive because I needed to make new friends and I needed to have I was in a totally different environment, right? So I want you to start thinking about adaptations that you've made in your life. It doesn't have to be big, grand thing like I just described. It could be something small, like learning a new skill or the changing of the seasons. How do you adapt when the seasons change, right? How do you adapt when you're going to a friend's house for a sleepover? What are the different types of adaptations that you experience in your life? The next part of this, what we're going to be doing for learning about plant and animal adaptations, is what I want you to do is start to do some searching on the internet, YouTube and the actual web for written work. And I want you to see if you can find some solid videos and websites that talk about different plant and animal adaptations. So, how are the plants actually changing the structure of how they grow so that they can live in water, right? Are their leaves different? Are their roots different? Are their stems different? Are their flowers different in the wetlands versus not wetlands? Same for animals. How are animals changing? Do they have to prey on other animals a particular way in the wetlands? Do they hide in particular spots? Do they have to change their color? Do they have to change their eating patterns or how, like the structure of their bodies, similar to the water strider? How the water strider um, has waterproof hair on its feet so that it can float on water, right? So I want you to start investigating and doing some research to seeing what adaptations you're finding that in general plants and animals make so that plants and animals that live in the wetlands can actually survive in that environment, in that ecosystem. So good luck with this. I hope you have fun with it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what your adaptations are, as well as the plant and animal adaptation websites and videos that you